The gospel is a message, and you have to believe it. And when you do, you're saved. So he says, I'm not ashamed of preaching the gospel. Some of us are ashamed of preaching the gospel. Some of us, we're afraid to speak up. But I've noticed, have you noticed a lot since the death of Charlie Kirk? I've noticed, and you might not know this, you might not be in America, but in America now I've seen people preaching the gospel in the government. The government, yesterday I saw the Speaker of the House preach the gospel. And the day before I saw the Secretary of State preach the gospel. I've never heard that in my life, in my whole life. I've never heard government officials in that position preach the gospel. So we were ashamed, but perhaps we're not ashamed anymore. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. It is the power of God to save the nations by faith. You have to believe. That's how it works. And so now he's going to explain how it works. How does it work? Verse 17. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed out of faith into faith. As it is written, the just shall live by faith. That's a tough verse. Let me explain it. In the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, uncovered. Apokalypto. There's a movie, Apokalypto. You ever seen it? It's from Mel Gibson, where the people in Central America are seeing for the first time the Europeans who are coming in their boats, and the Europeans are seeing for the first time the land that is in Central America. And so this is a revealing to both of them. It's apocalypto, and that means something you've never seen before has been revealed. And so that's why I've called this message Apokalypto, Romans revealed. And in this very verse, something is seen that has never been revealed before. It's Apokalypto. That's the word he uses, revealed, Apokalypto. What is revealed? The righteousness of God. Think of it like a piece of gold, chunk of gold, more valuable than that. But think of it as something tangible. The righteousness of God is in the gospel, like in a box in the gospel. And it is revealed out of faith. In other words, how do you open that box? Faith. You have to believe the gospel. The box opens, and out comes this incredibly valuable gold called righteousness. And it's the righteousness of God. It's his righteousness. Now, it comes out of the box through faith. In other words, you have to believe for it to come out. And when you get it, when you get this gift, remember, this is grace. God's giving it to you by faith. When you get this gift, you now have this righteousness of God in you that makes you at peace with God, that makes you joined to God the Father, that makes you free of everything that was keeping you from him. And so the righteousness of God is revealed, and you can take it. It's his God, his righteousness. So if you're a believer in Christ, you have his righteousness. It came out of your belief in the gospel. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed out of faith. And then it says into faith. What does that mean? It comes out of faith. In other words, when you believe it, you receive it. And into faith. When you receive it, you have a life of faith. You will be in faith. And he explains, he says, the just, the righteous, will live forever out of faith. They will live forever because of faith, because they believe the gospel. So what do you get when you believe the gospel? You get God's righteousness. Exactly. You get God's righteousness, something you could never have on your own. Don't bother to try to earn your own righteousness by doing good things. Receive his righteousness as a gift because he gives it to you when you believe the gospel.